Alright, so I am going to switch things up a bit, move to a different book. I'm in Wonderland by Emily Shen. So, yeah, I got this a while back. I'm not sure if there's still a sticker on it. Yeah, so I'm not sure. It could have been off Amazon, or I know I didn't pay that much for it. It could have been at some little five and dime store or something. Don't really know. Anyway, we are going to discuss some color because a lot of people are like, yeah, I've got that color wheel and stuff, but I still don't understand how to use it. So I'm not going to talk about all the holes and the numbers going around. That is on another previous video. I've done like several hundred videos, so you can probably pull up Rainbow Color Wheel and Pam Proctor, my name, and it'll probably pop up. Or go to my channel, look up Color Wheel. Anyway, what I want to talk about is how I pick colors for a page. And on this one, first thing I did was I knew I wanted to go with teal. And if I go directly across, the next color is orange. Now I can flip over this wheel and it'll tell me it's a blue-green and a red-orange. Okay, so red-orange, not straight orange. And that makes a difference as you're doing other colors. So I started with those two. So that's how I figured these two colors. And then I thought, well, I know I need more colors, so what else could I pick? So I thought, well, if I line up these green squares, it tells me I can also use like this fuchsia color and this yellow green. So I pulled these colors. And then I knew I needed something else yet, and I didn't want to go real dark. So I thought, okay, yellow. Well, what's across from yellow? So across from yellow is purple. That's how I got these colors. You can pretty well do like any three colors that are next to each other or colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel, and you're always going to turn out just fine. For y'all that have been watching, I'm going to grab this book because I just finished doing a couple in here, and I usually try to go back through and show y'all. There you go. So I just finished that one, and notice what's across from each other on the color wheel. Red and green, that's your Christmas colors. And then, yep, teal and the red-orange. Okay, and that's how I put these colors in. And then when you put it all together, it looks fine. Okay, so that's from that book. Get that out of the way. Let's go back over here. So I am going to do some coloring and blending. I went back to, yeah, I'm sitting over here on the side, whereas y'all are sitting down there watching. It's just the way my camera decided to shoot the video, but it got it up right for y'all. So I am with my Crayola pencils, and I am using aqua green and teal. So aqua green is my light. I like the Crayola pencils. Now when I first started, not necessarily so much, but the more I practiced with them, the easier it got. And y'all, they make big sets of the Crayola pencils. I wish there was an all skin tones. I would buy that. Yeah, and I'm not buying much right now, but I would buy that up. So now I'm going to my darker one. And see, this one is underneath this one. So that's why this one is going to be a little bit darker down here. And just blend it in. Lighter as I'm moving up. Okay. Then I'm going to come down here. This one is behind this one. so it would be darker along this side. But because of the picture I'm doing, you can see across here, I'm just doing like the bottom halves or the bottom thirds darker. So as long as whatever you're doing, you keep it uniform for that color, you should be okay. And see, I'm really up on the pencil right now. A lot of times I color back here because I'm so heavy-handed, but I'm just right up here on the end because I'm laying that color in. I'm going lighter touch here. That's how come it's blending. Lighter touch. And then as I come down here, after it's blended, I can go a much heavier touch. Then if I need to do more blending, I come back with the lightest color and just go over that until it's blended. Okay, one more, because I want to try to get around to all the colors just a little bit. And see, this one's a longer piece, so I'm coming a little bit further up into that. Light touch here. Now notice the other day I was going in circles and it was a round object. This is long, it's linear, so I can afford to go ahead and do longer strokes on this instead of just little circles. Okay, I'm going to get lighter touch as I'm up in here. I wish you could hear it the way I hear it, because I can really hear me doing this, and then as I move up, it's a whole lot quieter because I'm not pushing as hard. Okay? And just blend that out. And then again, lighter of your two shades. Yeah, I was also doing 3 shades the other day, and today I'm just doing 2. Again, it's personal preference, and it depends on how many pencils you have in your sets as to how many you use also. All right, now yellow should usually go down before everything else so that you're not smearing darker colors out with your yellows. Does that make sense? So I went ahead and took this light yellow and I did all the centerpieces all the way around. This is actually mellow yellow. This one is golden yellow. So the way to make these look like they're actually wrapped around there is to do a little bit darker under. See how this goes over the top? This one's under. So each little piece that's under would get a little bit darker. And now it doesn't look so flat. Can you see that? I know it messes with the light when I do that, but some people always want to see up close, so I'm trying. I really am. So anyway, you would do that all the way around. Now, there are 2 spots on here where they drew it back and forth like this instead of under. So what I would do is, see, this is on top, this is coming out from under. This is all on top, this is under. This is on top, this is under, 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 under. Do you see what I'm talking about? That little piece that's coming out from under, that's where it's darker. Because if you have 2 things crossing over, the one that's on the bottom is going to have that shadow. See the shadow right here on my finger? That's because it's under. Okay, so that gives it that look that it's being woven through there. Let's look at the purples. The purples, I just did it lightly all over. Okay, this one is royal purple. This one is plum. And then here, I'm going to come up and then I'm going to get lighter as I move over into that lighter color. I'm going to move lighter, meaning lighter pressure. Okay? So I can go hard pressure down here, really bearing down. But then as I come up, I've got to get a little bit lighter pressure. And I can do dark up this side, and it'll make it look a little bit more rounded around there. And I'm not sticking to regular leaf colors. That's why I did the teal. It's a fun page anyway because of what the book is. So why not? I can get this in there, and then I can come back with the lighter of the two shades and do my blending. And I would just keep working at that till all the tooth was out of that paper. The tooth meaning all the little white marks. Okay, let's go to the next two colors I've got pulled. I have red violet and maroon. So the red violet is this lighter shade here. I've already come through and done all that. Now I'm going to come back through with my maroon, and I'm going to do under each one of these. This feather part is on top of this feather part. Okay, so there's that shadow again. So let's put the shadow in here. And I don't always keep my pencils really sharp, but when you're doing little spots like this, it's going to be in your best interest to go ahead and sharpen up that pencil. Go ahead and get it sharp so that you can get in those little areas. Okay? And I'm seeing that I missed one of these, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that in. I try to keep all the pencils for one picture pulled until that picture is done, or at least until I know that specific area of that picture is done. So that way I'm not wondering, oh, what color was that I needed to come back and pull? I already had it pulled. And I'm just coming through here now, blending with that other color. And you can see how that worked. Same thing here. I'm just going to come under here, go all the way under, up in that little skinny area, and then I'm going to blend it to what's down underneath. Okay, so that's not hard at all. If you've been practicing your blending, you're going to have that down pretty good. Now see how it's dark right under here? Because that is under this. And then as it comes out, it's going to blend and get lighter so that it can blend into that other color. And I will almost always lay down my lighter color first. And you can see up here where I've done it on this bird. Let's keep going. Let's look at the greens. This time I did pull 3 because I wasn't really sure. Again, it's a fun fantasy page. Palm leaf, yellow green, and green. So this bigger area first. Then I'm going to go around that with my middle shade. So just go around there. Get that all done. Blend it just a little. Now these areas here are so small that it's hard to get a lot of blending and definition. Now I'm going to go the darkest color. Sometimes you've heard me talk about the V's. They're sideways so you can see it's actually a V. And down in those V's, here's one. That's where you want to put your darker color. The little triangle bits that are throughout a section, that's where you want to put those darkest points. So up here I did it here, 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 and here. Then I'm going to come back with my lightest and see how much I can blend on that. And it's still going to show a little bit of lines, but not nearly as bad as you would think as it would with just basic Crayola pencils. And a lot of the Walmarts will carry your larger sizes of packages of pencils. So with COVID going on, if you're not going to the store but you're doing pickup, just throw it on your list and they will go by and pick you up that set of pencils. And you can look ahead of time online to see if they have them in the store. And if they come back and say they don't and you don't want to mess with it, just tell them not to substitute. Not a big deal. You'll be able to check on it another time. So I got the first pack I got at a Walmart, and then I got my second box of, I want to say it's like 100 count. I got them at the Coloring Experience, the Crayola store. And they were actually the same price, I think, which surprised me. Okay, next I'm going to go over to my oranges. So I'm going to use orange, and then I'm going to use red-orange. So I love this red-orange color because I use it for the lightest shade when I'm doing reds. I use it for the darkest shade when I'm doing oranges. It's just a good buffer color for between. I guess I don't want to move that. I was going to turn it so it was facing me, and I'm like, no, better not. So I'm going to start with the lighter, which is the orange. I'm going to get that tip good. And then I'm going to bring it on down. And these are wax pencils because they're Crayola. They're not your high wax like your other name brands are. But yeah, very definitely a wax. And again, if you will practice, you're going to have blendability. Just get in there and practice with your pencils. Even just a book that you're not particularly fond of, you can go through and just take a page and just start practicing blending. Or take just a piece of paper, draw some circles or squares or something, and practice blending. Color them in the shapes of spheres or cubes, and try to find you a light source and then color accordingly for shadows. So anyway, I'm not going to do that one because I can't turn my paper and I really want to turn it, my book. It's easier for me if I can turn my book as I go. So while my pencil is sharp to a tip, I'm going to get down in all these little spots. All right? Then when the pencil is not as sharp, and see, did you notice what I did? I was like this coloring, and then I flipped the pencil so that now a different part is going down, so it's a little more pointy again. But yeah, I'll get all those little bits done first. Then I'll come back after I've started wearing the lead down a little bit and get all the other pieces done, because then it's not as important for it to be as sharp of a point. Okay, you don't want to take a pencil that is worn down. Well, that's not even worn down. Most of my pencils are actually sharp right now. Highly unusual for me. But see how this one's a bit stubbier? So I wouldn't want to do that down in those little bitty points. Okay? That's when you want to go ahead and go for the nice sharp pencil to get down in those little points. But yeah, I sharpened all the pencils before I got on to shoot the video, which is unusual for me. Usually I forget that step. Okay, then come back with the lighter of the two and get that blended. Just blend it on up in there. Get all the white out of the paper. And I've been doing a lot of pictures with black accents just to make the color pop. So if there weren't so many little skinny things on this, I might even do this whole background in black, but I don't have that kind of patience. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So when I'm saying black as accents, oh, these books, the paper is so thick. I mean, I love it. I do, but it makes it hard sometimes to find the pages. See how I did the black? And it just makes things pop. So, there again, it causes that popping. I didn't do any black in that one, but I did the brown. There I did a little bit of black. And I actually did this black with like a micron pen. So that was pretty fun, pretty easy to do. I don't think there's a whole lot else. Oh yeah, I did that, a lot of black. And in this one, I actually wrote down the colors I was using as I went, just in case I wanted to know any of the color combinations again. But anyway, and that might be as far back as I've gone. Yeah, that's it for that book. So, again, I had not been into doing mandalas until those books were sent to me by the people in France, asking me to do reviews, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I love these books. Just because they're not a regular mandala, they have all the other pictures going around. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing here. So I hope that was helpful to you. Again, and I haven't mentioned this in a long time, I've got a clear transparency underneath just to protect the pages, because sometimes when you're coloring it dents into the paper, or it'll pick up the ink from one page and put it on the other. So some sort of a transparency or paper or something is good for between your pages. All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Have fun. Yeah, I am still hoping to eventually get enough donations that I can get a set of the alcohol markers. So, across the top, click about, and then there's a place in there for donations if you'd like to do that. Other than that, I got nothing. Okay, I will see y'all hopefully shortly after Thanksgiving. Okay, have a good Thanksgiving if you're in the States. If you're not, just have a good week or so, and I will be back. I know I've got a lot of stuff coming up and I'm going to be busy. All right, bye.